This is the great holy night of Lioness, the one that was said to be on par with the seven deadly sins, although that is to be argumented with, and was the greatest holy knight and one of the strongest druids ever. This is his real personality? Not too much surprising in the Seven Deadly Sins chapter 818 or Nanatsu no Taizai. From a cover when we see Meliodas and Zaratras being a duo, turns out that the man stands before them is indeed the real Zaratras. And it turns out that Zaratras' personality is not of the serious and kind person that he was said to be. No, he is still kind and very generous. In fact, what he does here is actually pretty heartwarming. But he's also a bit of a dork, adorkable almost, you could say, because he curses the fact that he died, but only because Hendrickson fed him a special pie that he absolutely loved, and it was poisonous. So what he curses is not that Hendrickson for poisoning him, he's cursing that the fact that he was so hungry that he could not refuse the pie when Hendrickson fed it to him. He may have been the strongest holy knight, but he was still human. It's also pretty funny how he asked Princess Elizabeth, do you like the black cat's fish pies? And she answers yes. And then it turns out, Hawk of course thinks this Zaratras is an imposter, but Elizabeth confirms us. This is the real Zaratras, and he hasn't changed a bit, which means that this is his real personality. The Great Holy Knight is nothing but a dork. And a lovable one is that. And it's, so yeah. But he's also lamenting the fact that the fact that he was poisoned and dying was also because he couldn't save Dreyfus and Hendrickson from darkness. Because it turns out that indeed, yes, Zaratras is indeed someone who was revived from the lingering regrets from Marashkaila. Although this is a bit of a plot hole, but then again, it's not exactly confirmed yet. But wasn't Marashkaila supposed to be dead? I mean, granted, Meliodas had 7 hearts, and all Ban did was twist her neck and then take out 5. So technically, she should still have 1 heart left, I think. But what makes this curious is, if she really is dead, then how come Zaratras is still lingering around? Has he somehow been able to repel that, or is Marashkaila not truly dead, only incapacitated? Then that should mean that Elaine is not dead either. Who knows? But he's indeed summoned from the lingering regrets, and it's also that he's also not a drinker, but a tea bringer. But he is not lingering in this world of regrets and hatred towards Hendrickson and Dreyfus for killing him. No, he's angry at himself for failing to realizing or noticing that Hendrickson and Dreyfus were manipulated by the demons. Now that is what I call heart. Any person who was killed by someone else would have lingering regrets to that person and curse them for the rest of their lives if they were to revive. But not Zaratras. No, he figured out what was really going on. And he has forgiven them. He just cannot forgive himself. Is that another reason why he is lingering around? Because that's somehow bending the rules of Marashkaila's lingering regrets? Who knows? Hawk is getting a little irritated with Zaratras' thoughts, but how the way he acts. But Elizabeth says to calm down. It is also the fact that he has not shown himself to Gilthunder yet. It's also the fact, did I just say that 3 times in a row? We have not yet confirmed if Gilfrost and Gilthunder is related, but if they turn out that they're half-brothers, which in a way would actually make sense. You know, given to the fact that Zaratras and Dreyfus, what was it? Same father, different mother? Was that what it was? Wouldn't surprise me if Zaratras is the same. It has the same. He is also a little bit jealous that Meliodas was always Gil's favorite. So Elizabeth takes him to Meliodas' bed where he's still lying. He also seems to have some kind of tear or a hair strand in his eye. Despite the fact that Elizabeth has healed the wounds Meliodas suffered, nothing can be done. But apparently, Meliodas is not even in the world of Necropolis, the place of the dead. He's not even there. It's also the fact that Zaratras says, "You once told me you wouldn't simply die as your heart stopping, did you not?" The fact that Meliodas is not in the Necropolis. Where is he? And what does Zaratras mean that his heart, he would not die when his heart is crushed? Is this just Meliodas having said that would be tough? Or is this another hint that Meliodas is more than we think? Because now things is really getting interesting. Zaratras performs a special ritual by marking Meliodas with special markings and talks about everything we have ever doubted about Meliodas. The fact that he himself says he could never understood Meliodas, or more likely he always thought him was a mysterious man. His words, his thoughts, his intent, and his meanings could never be read. And that's so true! We know nothing of Meliodas. We know so much and yet so little. Because he's always so mysterious. And there's also the fact that Zaratras says he was living far in the past while simultaneously worrying about the distant future. That's also true. He was always worried about the Ten Commandments being revived, and yet at the same time he was always looking for ahead. So whatever he wanted to, we no one really know. It's also the fact that, did I say that again? Apparently, Meliodas once got drunk, which is impossible normally for him. And he confessed that he actually knew his own death. So with a magic spell, and taking the hands of both Hawk and Elizabeth, Zaratras teleports them into the memories of Meliodas. Just the day when Danafor was annihilated by Meliodas' wraths. It's exactly after that explosion happened, or right when that explosion happened, that King Lioness and that younger Zaratras appeared before Danafor and saw the explosion. It's also revealed that the king, with his vision, actually had a nightmare about this, but they could not prevent it. It's this exact moment that Zaratras and Meliodas crossed path, but he wasn't alone. No. With tears in his eyes, blood in his face, and with a very angry face, not to mention the demon dragon handle in his arms, he was holding something much more. A very cute child. A cute child that just happened to have been Elizabeth. The plot thickens, doesn't it? And I do not want to hear the fact is, oh, so you're telling me Liz really were Elizabeth's mother? No, it's nothing like that. It's confirmed that Elizabeth is Liz's reincarnation. So, what does this mean? How come Elizabeth could survive this explosion while Danafor could not? Well, it's maybe obvious that Meliodas protected her. But the past between Elizabeth and Meliodas is much more deeper than we have ever thought. What is the fact that it was Meliodas that gave the baby child Elizabeth to the king of Lioness? I mean, it was confirmed that Elizabeth came from Lioness because Liz died there. But still, where did that baby Elizabeth come from? Did she come from the body of Liz, like a reincarnation like that, or something else? Either way, finally we are moving ahead with something I've wanted for a long time. Answers! We probably won't get any answers. We will most likely though only get the past of Zaratras and Meliodas. But if this is the key to find a way to resurrect Meliodas, then I'm all for it. What do you think will happen in this future? Next week's chapter is called Unconditional Warmth. No, Unconditional Warmth. Is this a hint? Are we gonna see more of their memories, or are we gonna see something else? Give me your thoughts if you have any.